Yeah, so I guess I was just contemplating the idea of natural highs and I don't know, yeah, natural highs, I guess, but also this kind of natural calms, because often we're looking for a sense of calm or um, that kind of thing, and sometimes people are chasing a sense of euphoria or a sense of peace and kind of I don't know happiness. And I guess I know it, I know it sounds ridiculous to a certain extent, but this is coming from somebody that used to smoke weed all the time and all sorts of other stuff, back in the day. And I guess there was this idea of, what is there going to be that's going to give me a chilled out vibe. So this used to be something I used to think about, and I guess it felt like a long way off when I had lots of chronic anxiety type difficulties as well. And I guess what I was trying to do is just explain that there's other things that we can do, and I'm watering the grass here, yeah. And I know it sounds a bit ridiculous sometimes, but this is actually a really kind of chilling kind of thing to do, you know. Um, and actually, it kind of gives a sense of calm. And I know people will be like, "You're having a laugh, yeah," but there is a sense of peace that comes from watering the grass, you know. But there's other things as well, you know. And if you've not tried things like, for example, a float therapy, yeah. I mean, it might be tricky for some people if they've had difficulties with like claustrophobia and stuff like that, or enclosed spaces. And actually, it was a bit anxiety provoking for me when I first did a float. And that's basically where you float in these Epsom salts in an enclosed kind of chamber. Um, but I tell you, if you do a few breathing techniques when you go in, and you have a bit of a focus about what you might think about, or if you want to just chill out and empty your thoughts, yes, some people might struggle with that, and it is thinking about that and researching it and checking it out for yourself and considering, is that going to be helpful? And if you have a therapist, or somebody each might be thinking about, is this going to be suitable for me? But and you can read all the research on it all. I found it amazing, and you get this big boost of magnesium from it, and came out multiple times. I've come out of there and I've thought that was the most amazing experience, just getting into an absolute chilled out zone in the float for an hour. And once I did 2 hours, and I also did a bit of bilateral in there by tapping my arms, and I had the most amazing euphoric feeling in there from doing that. Because what you can do is you can focus your attention um, on what you want, actually, yeah, which people are not aware of often. But what can happen is, for example, if you focus on a positive thing, um, that you enjoy, or a nice feeling while you're in the chamber, and what it can do is just escalate that feeling, alongside some bilateral, and it was a really nice experience. I would say probably quite similar to taking drugs or something, that would have a harmful effect for you. But actually, you come out of that feeling all chilled out. Oh, there's a bend in the hose somewhere. But so yeah, so those are things. There's other highs you get from exercise. Endurance exercise. I find even a short, bit of intensive, high intensity exercise. It's quite amazing the positive impact you can get from just doing some kettlebells for like 5 minutes. You do 5 minutes kettlebells and suddenly you feel completely different, Gardening, you get a sense of calm. So there's exercise, floats, some of these mindfulness exercises, simple things like watering the grass. And I guess what I'm thinking about is like each person will be slightly different and appreciate certain things differently than others. So, one person will be like, "You're having a laugh, Tim. doing the, you know, watering the grass is going to make me feel chilled out, but it might not do for you. But there's certainly things that you'll particularly find helpful, and I guess what's needed is to experiment for yourself and find what you find enjoyable more than anything. Yeah, and it's things like going for a hike or a cycle, you know, what compares with that gliding down a hill on a bike, you know? It's kind of a nice feeling, isn't it? And sometimes it's kind of noticing how these things feel and then doing more of them if you want to. Yeah. There's plenty of other, you know, chilled out things that you can do. So sauna and cold therapy, you know, a plunge pool and having a sauna and a steam. Brilliant, you know, while hydrating. So, you know, drink 2 liters of water, for example, while you're having a couple of saunas and stuff. And then see what you feel like with some electrolytes and stuff, and see what you feel like when you come out of that sauna and all that, and you've got dressed again and you go for a walk down the street. There'll be a dramatic difference usually, yeah? And actually, sometimes people have never experienced these things. And after doing it myself all the time, you know, it's like, well, yeah, why have I not been doing this all my life, you know? Why have I not been doing these things all my life? Maybe I wouldn't have been smoking weed back in the day if I'd have known that you'd get that feeling of doing a sauna, you know, regularly, you know. Anyway, try out some of these natural highs if you fancy it, or these natural activities that you can do that are not going to have a negative effect for you. You know, like watering the grass is not going to really do anything negative to people, is it? Or doing a bit of going for a long walk is going to give you that certain feeling, you know. Just kind of thinking, well, or gardening or something, you know. It's like, how can I add more of these things into my life, and make choices to get that in my life more, you know. Like now, you know, I'm up at the crack of dawn watering the grass, but that's giving me a positive vibe, you know. Oh, well, good luck with things and see what you enjoy, and yeah, put in the comments if you fancy like some other ideas about things that you might like. Some people might enjoy doing art and stuff, you know, for example, or other stuff. But anyway, have a good one.